Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. Thankfully, some of you guys still got the internet.
Yay, some people are online. That's wonderful. So we're not all alone. Hi, guys.
Hey there, Brother Ray, Brother Mark, Brother Calvin, Archangel Gabriel, Rose War, Lauren, great to see you all. So we're just doing a real impromptu live to cover this, just because with everything going on in the world right now, as we've been letting you guys know for a while, it really feels like we're getting very, very, very close to something really, really, really major. Not that lockdown, quarantine, the whole plague, the protests, the riots, the political situation, the food shortages, the crop shortages, the floods, the earthquakes. Not that they're not all major, but just something that would make us turn our attention away from all that and say, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, there's always got to be something going on somewhere that turns our attention to that. It just makes you wonder, do I pay attention to this or do I pay attention to that? It's always a crapshoot.
And so we've been stressing to everybody, prep to the highest degree. Get yourselves, ready for whatever's coming, because it does feel like we're going to a point that's going to be a little different. And one of the things that really hits me is that I do feel that before, and I said this months ago, before the end of the year comes, we're going to see some major outages, and the grid itself perhaps going down in large areas for perhaps prolonged periods of time. And again, it could be because of more than one thing. CMEs, EMPs, sabotage, acts of war even. That's, really what we could see coming on the horizon.
And we all know that things are going to look very different in the future from what they look like today. And I guess another part of that game is trying to figure out, okay, where do I cover my bases? What do I do? How do I prepare this? Am I prepared? It's just a lot of stuff to handle sometimes. It can be overwhelming.
Yeah, it could be very overwhelming. And that's, at the same time, it's stuff we have to get ourselves as prepared as we can possibly be for. And perhaps in a spot that we want to be in, that offers us, our family, our loved ones, the best possible opportunity for not only surviving, but then thriving too, as well as we can in these times. So this is the first one I did today. Russia orders 150,000 troops into drills to ensure security in Southwest. And then questioning, were sleeper cells activated? Because there was, for instance, there was a very interesting tweet again from the Twitter account Iran Military, which we don't know who that is, but they follow everything with Iran, especially everything with the confrontation with the West that's going on. And they were showing a power plant in Indiana that had some issues. And it makes you wonder if they were saying, it was targeted, and perhaps it was. We talked about on that channel too, 3 shipments that were intercepted of small arms, including silencers, and they were from China. One of the locations was to Florida. I forget what the other 2 were. I'll have to dig up all that info again for you guys. But just saying, what's going on? Are they supporting BLM? Are they supporting ANTI, FA? Or are they sending this to sleepers that have been in place for quite a while? Meanwhile, Russia, they mobilized 150,000 troops. They're heading down towards Armenia and Azerbaijan, where there is a conflict going on right now. It's building. It's building. So we could see that. And meanwhile, Turkey and Libya, they're going to probably be facing Egypt as well. So there's more wars, proxy wars, but there's also the potential for direct confrontation developing. And, one of the things that hit me and talking about everything, and we talked about on this video, the agreement that China and Iran just put into effect for 25 years, and it allows China to use Iran's military bases in Iran. That's big. That's big. So will we see massive amounts of Chinese troops and military equipment rolling into Iran when we, pull up the map? And let me do that real quick. So you can see Azerbaijan's here, Armenia's right over here. Here's Turkey, here's Iran. And so, Russia is huge and massive. We have Egypt over here, Libya right here. So Turkey is active in the Libyan civil war that's going on. And, a while ago, we have reports of Egypt massing tanks at the border. So they're ready to go. This is all coming together. And then those of you that are Bible students, if there's massive troops that are going to come through, perhaps, to go into this area, you got to wonder, would this be the attack on Israel? Would this be Ezekiel 38 manifesting? I know a lot of you guys have studied the Bible, especially the prophetic part of it will be saying, we're ripe for Ezekiel 38 to come through right now.
And, a lot of things are coming to pass. I think like the number one thing people are searching for now is signs out of Revelations, the end times, apocalypse, the mark of the beast, and all these things are very curious, and it's very valid to look for these answers too, because the times we're in, so many things come parallel to it. It's just insane.
And so that's the war of Gog and Magog, which really does, talk about a lot of the areas that we're talking about, including, Russia and Turkey, for instance. So very interesting times we are in. Very, very interesting times. Now, jumping back to what's going on. So I saw this tweet. What have I told you? China just took down half the internet. And Kaspersky is an IP address provider. It's like they provide. Gosh, what's the term for when you're hiding where you are? I've used Kaspersky in the past to basically secure yourself.
Is it cloaking?
Yeah, you could think of it as cloaking. I'm sure somebody said it. But anyway, Kaspersky is all about internet security. And you can't bring up that map, or at least it hasn't been working until I started to put together this live. And over here we see, Homer Simpson's concerned. He is really concerned. He's out there on the streets right now. Massive internet outage in quarantine. Yeah. If Homer's worried, because we know, The Simpsons always tells us what's happening next. And this is from Zero Hedge. Half of the internet is down, and you see where the outages are. So, yeah, you see some outages over there in the Middle East, all through Europe. You look at the U.S. Lots and lots of outages. So half the internet is down due to Cloudflare outage. Meanwhile, at Cloudflare status, all systems operational. So that's what we're told, is that it's all Cloudflare. Cloudflare accidentally turns off half the internet in brief but major outage. 1111, guys. Cloudflare is one of the largest internet infrastructure companies on the planet, and its DDoS mitigation and DNS services are incredibly popular. Unfortunately, Cloudflare's servers had a critical outage, leaving thousands of websites and services non-functional for a brief time. Cloudflare said an issue with Cloudflare Resolver and our Edge network was the cause for countless websites going offline earlier today, including Discord, Patreon, GitLab, Medium, Zendesk, and even Down Detector. You know it's bad when Down Detector doesn't even work. So, I was trying to post a video up to Patreon and also then to BitChute and also to Brightian, and none of them were working. So, if it's either me or it's something else, and then that tweet came through and I realized, it wasn't just me then. Now, it said, thankfully, services are starting to come back online. The issue has been identified and the fix is being implemented. So anything else should work itself out soon. But I don't always trust the official explanations as well. As we see here, Discord was down for nearly an hour due to the Cloudflare issues. So, that's a big chunk of the internet. Half the internet. So Cloudflare, and this is looking at Cloudflare, is an American web infrastructure and website security company providing content delivery network services. So were they just probed? Did China just test it? Because if you can't see the writing on the wall between what's becoming more and more imminent showdown between China and the U.S. and the rest of perhaps the EU, you got to have your head in the sand if you can't see what's coming.
There's just so many arrows and so many signs pointing to this being imminent. It's just a matter of really when, and I guess we know that we're closer when these big major things happen closer and closer, kind of like when if you're your mom and you're in labor and those pains are coming closer and closer, it's inevitable. And this is so much like having a baby. We all know it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. And it was just a matter of when, not if.
So good to see everybody that's here. Yeah, there's definitely, maybe 100, 120, 30 people less than typical. So probably a lot of people are still having some issues. And so good to see Susie Q, Karma Doc, Matt and Jenny. Good to see you guys. Viola. It is a beautiful tribe. Velvet. So good to see you as well. Queen Star, dear sister. Mars Fool's Gold. It says it is China, the deep state, or both. Yeah. Well, I think the deep state controls China, and not the other way around. I think it's actually the real deep state, controls China. So we're talking about the ends with an I. You guys got it. The Ross, the Red Shield family, and the Stonefellers. And as we know, they want us to have the Chinese system. That's going to make it awful easy to control everybody. And Florence says it's Israel and Iran. Iran's out of the money control. Everything's shifting now. Now that Iran officially has China having their back, they might not just take all the strikes on their facilities that have been going on.
Yeah, I know. There's just, to me, this is all kind of confusing. So it's really nice to have Mike here to kind of encapsulate everything and make it, a little something that you can swallow instead of trying to pull all this together, on your own, going through all the sites and everything, looking at all the information, then assessing it yourself. So it's just really, really good that we can help put this together.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of things very intently because, the radar just keeps going up more and more. I feel like we're very close. And what day is today? Today's the 17th. Like we had gotten from our guides, a week ago that we had about 6 weeks is before, things could get intense and we were to basically get our butts in gear. And so that's why I've kind of been focusing a little bit more on giving you guys the message of getting your butt in gear, if you can, to another level. Just think, treat it as if, what if it's going to go out, the internet goes out, maybe the whole grid goes down, and it's that 6 month timeline that the government talked about. Mm-hmm. Then what? Are you ready for that? Is anybody ready for that? How could you get more ready for that?
It's always good to find ways to be more ready, or even streamline. Like, look at your old plan, see what that looks like, and then go through and make a new plan, because our lives change. We're very kind of like plasma in nature, our lives, and things do change. Kids do grow up. So if you have like emergency supplies set aside for the kids, clothes and whatnot, might want to look through those and see if you need to get different sizes. I mean, it's just those little things like that that we don't always think of. I think it's just a time to kind of go over everything again.
Yeah, as I'm looking at this, obviously you don't see it in Russia, you don't see it in China, you don't see it in Iran as well as some of these other nations. We do see it all through the U.S., we see it all through Europe, see South Africa as well. We do see some in Brazil, in Australia, some of Indonesia, and that perhaps is Vietnam over there, Japan for sure. Very interesting, very interesting. This just came up 37 minutes ago. 3 fires and explosions in less than 24 hours in the U.S. right after Iran vowed retaliation for explosions across their chemical plants, and huge internet outages and hosting services crash across the U.S. a few minutes ago. So, does that make you say, let me pull up this other thing I wanted to show you guys too. It was in this morning's video, but I want to cover it over here too. Just hammering it home because, we might have... Okay, well, here's a map of all those fires that we're talking about. As you could see, nuclear enrichment facility, industrial complexes. If you guys haven't paid attention to the build up to World War I and World War II, you see a lot of these events that take place. It's softening up. It's, again, like we've been saying, probing, prodding, testing, and then implementing and starting to create that pain in the ass scenario for the potential opposition.
Yeah, it's about making things difficult to move forward. But I do believe a lot of people that listen to this channel were, about as good as we can possibly get. It's just, if there's anything maybe you forgot, what's always good to do is like look at the YouTube channels on prepping for kids, prepping for pets, prepping for different weather scenarios, stuff like that, and just make little refinements as needed.
So, some people said, how do we know who this is, really? And we don't know who this is. We could just, see that they are followed by some people that provide a lot of info to a lot of people. Aurora Intel, Stay Home, and Intel Sky, just for instance. And then when you follow, look at this. We have a chemical plant in College Park, Atlanta is on fire, explosion, and he's pointing it out. They are pointing it out. So College Park, Atlanta. Interesting. And they're tracking it. And it's farther back here. This is one I was talking about in Indiana. They're pointing it out again. Are they just saying, well, here's a tit for a tat. So this is a NIPSCO plant in Indiana. And this is the ArcelorMittal steel plant in Indiana. So, steel, again, look at that, explosion. You might not want to say it out loud, but the reality is it's already at war. We're already in a state of war. It's just still not being officially declared. But this is all part of it.
Okay, so I saw my phone, it was buffering, but you guys, everything is okay there. That's good. Wonderful. So just making sure we are still up, but I didn't know because my phone was buffering. There you go.
Dr. Z says they're just manipulating the mind by reporting the news, making people think they are doing this. Well, that could be it too. Like we said, we don't know who this is. this could be the CIA. This could be the FBI. And they could literally be doing this to our own facilities to get everybody riled up and everybody ready for war against Iran and China. So, that is a good point. We don't really know, but what can we take from this is that, they're heading us, they're hurting us, they're pushing us in that direction. So, you could see that it's obviously, and then when we see Russia diverting 150,000 troops and massive amounts of equipment, you're talking thousands of planes, something big is up. Something big is very, very, very close.
Yeah, I haven't seen that before. I mean, the amount of war games that they're playing right now, and then, if you look in the past, a lot of the things that did happen, they were doing, they had scheduled trials, or they were testing to see how the systems were going, and then they went live. It wasn't supposed to be, but it did. It went live, and then these certain things did happen, and that's one of the patterns that they keep doing over and over, is these little games, and then they go live. Yeah, definitely. So, this is to be expected. It's just disruptions and stuff, and whether it is a series of false flags, it very well could be. Absolutely. But again, the ultimate thing is they're trying to bring us into that war. And, that's really what they're intent on. And thank you, Riser. Much love to you too as well, brother. And it was our pleasure to help you at the energy work. Yeah, as Jan says, the one world order wants war. It is. It's all just a way to consolidate and control. Great Epiphany says, anybody know of an abandoned oil rig or a free island that I can move to? Well, there's 10,000 islands down in southwest Florida. I had always thought about that too. Just escape down there, plant yourself on one of those islands, and hope nobody ever finds you. Just, do your own thing. So Mars Fool's Gold says, new U.S. amphibious assault ship. Most definitely. Lots of stuff going on. And Breadcat says that's why Canada's better, but you can't get to Canada now. You're not allowed to cross the border. You can't get into Mexico. You're not allowed to cross the border. So there's a lot going on. Yeah, there sure is. A lot to cover. It's just nice to be able to come on and chat and talk with you guys, so we can all sort of I think a lot of it is emotional preparation for the time when we realize, oh crap, this is it. So it doesn't let off such a huge trauma into the ether. We need to keep cool, remember who we are, where we're from, what we've studied, and help others move forward.
So you got 3 locations apparently seeming like they had, well, let's just say they had accidents instead of saying they got hit in like a 3 or 4 hour period of time. Chemical plant, steel plant, and the NIPSCO is a generating station, a power generate. These are exactly the type of places that get hit. When there's a war-like situation going on. You want to take out the production, you want to take out the energy. This is exactly the soft targets, the infrastructure that they would go after. Here we see out of hashtag Syria Media, air defenses intercept unknown aircraft. There's just so much going on right now. Armenia, Azerbaijan. Not sure what that is doing there, if they're being friendly or... Of course, don't forget we had the ship on fire too. What was that? Was that just another accident, or was that another target?
Right, were those DEW weapons, and how is that happening,
Exactly. Lots and lots going on right now, guys. Lots going on. So again, to recap, Homer's worried because of the massive outage that's going on. And over here, the tweet talking about China taking down half the internet. We have 3 fires and explosions less than 24 hours, really less than 4 hours in the U.S. right after Iran vowed retaliation for explosions across their chemical plants infrastructure. Again, is it just a coincidence that that's what's burning over here is the same things that were targeted over there? As we see half the internet down. So very curious, to say the least.
Very curious, guys. Got a lot going on, and if we hear any more, we'll definitely come back on and talk about it. So hopefully this is just really nothing. Hopefully we still got time to prep and prepare and emotionally prepare. So I don't know. I'm going to keep myself busy kind of refining things. That's what I'm going to do.
Most definitely. We've been spending a lot of time, again, doing energy work and helping other people. But again, it's all about those last preps, and preps with the thought in mind of, the grid going down. How would we react? Is it survivable where you are right now? How are the temperatures? Do you have water? What if you, if you have loss of electricity, does that mean that you don't have water? Think about that as well. There's so many things to cover: generator, backup fuel, just general preparedness, because it does look like things are getting triggered, and things will be going to a much higher level right now. And there's so much going on with the whole lockdown, putting us into more of a second lockdown, perhaps a more severe lockdown than the first time as well.
Yeah, and I think it's about, trying to keep our vibrations low, so they can lock us into a certain reality. And that's why it's so important to keep working on raising your vibration, working on your spiritual body, working on your internal self, and just get that vibe up. Let's not let them hold us down like that. We really can't let that happen.
Yeah, so do the inner work. No matter what happens, we are eternal beings, and we're having a human experience. So we go on even after the body. So again, that's something we could keep a big eye on. What they want to do is they want to get us in fear, and I'm not viewing it so much fearful, just as being as prepared as possible. And looking at it, wondering what they're going to do next, honestly. As we have seen, just things ramping up. It's getting hotter out there. It's getting a lot hotter out there. So you see one of the new U.S. Navy's frigates will be named Brooke. And this is the fire going on right now. This just came out 11 minutes ago. It's an Alchemix chemical plant in College Park, Georgia. No reports of injuries. So, is this just an accident, or is it tit for tat with Iran, or is it a false flag? Time maybe will tell. Of course, we had the ship that we were talking about that seemed to start it. So if you count the 3 things today plus the ship, that's four incidents. There were numerous ones over in Iran.
Yeah, is it just coincidence? I don't know.
So guys, I just wanted to give you a quick update. We're going to keep an eye on things. If there's more escalation, we'll come back on later on tonight. We do have a few more people that we have to help. But I just wanted to get this out there, because it feels really like at any time we might end up being cut off from each other for perhaps not just a few hours, but perhaps days or maybe even longer, with all that's coming out now.
But I have a feeling like in our soul, though, we're going to be okay. So you guys take really good care of yourselves. Thanks for the thumbs up. We appreciate all this support.
Yes, we do. We appreciate your support here and on Ko-Fi and Patreon and keeping us going. Even when they demonetize us and try to get us to shut up, we won't shut up. We'll just keep doing what we do. And we'll watch things again and come on tonight if need be and do another live. Be safe out there, guys. Please do prepare to the highest levels you can. No fear. No fear. We just want to take care of each other and our families and loved ones and do as good as we can for everybody. God bless and namaste.